It's 25 years since smash hits journalist Neil Tennant and architecture student Chris Lowe got together and formed the Pet Shop Boys. 10 million album sales later, and they're famous for their cool, intelligent pop. Their latest album, Fundamental, is a return to their distinctive 80s sound, but it does have some strong political messages. So can pop music combine seriousness and fun? Zina Sarawiwa went to meet them to find out.
For 3 decades now, the Pet Shop Boys have peddled their brand of intelligent pop with arch detachment. Purposefully enigmatic, we thought we'd pin them down on some critical cultural issues. World Cup or World Peace?
Oh, World Peace. World Cup.
Sofa or settee?
Settee. I would say sofa. I know.
Black or white? Trick question. Radio 4 or Radio 2?
Radio 3.
And that sums up the paradox of the Pet Shop Boys. Mainstream pop meets high art with a heavy dose of irony. Neil Tennant, the practised wit, and Chris Lowe, the mostly silent partner, have together notched up 21 top 10 hits and 4 number ones with their formula of witty lyrics set to an electronic beat. More than most bands, they really think about the scope and point of pop. But they challenge pop too. So, can the boys be pinned down on this cultural issue? A tough one, perhaps, what with their lyrics that reference Oscar Wilde or their use of classical music and political satire. I think first we need to find out, are they themselves really pop?
I don't think we've ever really fitted in with the pop landscape. If we were to go back in time to 1986 or 1987 and read The Enemy or newspapers, you would discover a lot of people thought the Pet Shop Boys were rubbish. Now it's a given that the greatest hits are always sort of, everyone always liked them.
Do you think you fit in better now?
Fitting in is a bit like being cool. It's not something we aim for. I think coolness is in the eye of the observer. I don't think it's in the nature of the artist, really. Franz Ferdinand, for instance, I think possibly, with respect, if they're watching this, are probably totally uncool now, whereas a year ago they were really cool. I mean, I'm sure they have, I know they have probably a lot of musical ambitions, and that's what they should remain true to. I imagine they don't sit at home worrying about being cool either.
So, pop doesn't have to be cool, but what about political? The Pet Shop Boys' latest single, I'm With Stupid, reflects upon the relationship between Tony Blair and George Bush. It's the latest in a line of political Pet Shop Boys songs, but some might say mixing pop and politics can be a bit cringeworthy.
We do politics through satire. I think when you get activist pop, that's the problem. I think there's never been one successful activist pop song, which is Free Nelson Mandela, because I think it did a great pop thing. It made Nelson Mandela famous. When I first heard Free Nelson Mandela, which I think came out in about 85-ish, 84-ish, I'd never heard of Nelson Mandela.
The Pet Shop Boys love a challenge. 2 years ago, they worked with German composer Thorsten Rasch to produce an orchestrated soundtrack for Battleship Potemkin, Eisenstein's classic silent movie of 1925. Earlier this month, they restaged this revolutionary film at an old shipyard in Newcastle, Neil's home turf, a significant act in itself.
One of the things that where we like to express ourselves is in events, is to do something that feels really quite special. Battleship Potemkin was an attempt to do something outside the framework of pop music. There's things we've done in that which you wouldn't normally do in pop music. It gave us a chance actually to see what it would be like if you work with a composer whose leans towards more or less avant-garde. I think we learned something from that that maybe we'll use in the future.
In fact, the Pet Shop Boys have experimented again with orchestral sounds on their latest album, Fundamental, working with legendary 80s producer Trevor Horn. The whole thing about mixing classical sounds, or at least orchestral sounds, with a disco beat, that could so easily kind of stray into those kind of, you know, hooked on classics, you know, Beethoven with a backbeat kind of thing. How do you avoid sort of straying into that kind of disaster?
Hooked on Classics was literally a drum machine with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra on top of it. It's not very well done. I think you've just got to have an inbuilt mechanism that says, we're a pop group. We kept saying that to Trevor Horn as we were making the record. We are an electronic band, let's remember that, as the third guitarist would walk in on one track. and he said, oh yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, but you still wonder if the boys feel restricted by their genre. Could it be that they're beyond pop? Is having gravitas important to you?
I think gravitas is the enemy of pop.
So when you're incorporating, say, contemporary art, or, you know, using the likes of C.M. McKellen in your videos, getting Derek Jarman to direct videos, or using Sam Taylor Wood to design sets for your shows, you're reaching for contemporary art, you're reaching for high art at the same time.
We're bringing them into pop music, and also we're trying to extend pop music. We're doing that quite simply to make it, to keep it fresh and to make it more entertaining. That's why.
So let's recap. The Pet Shop Boys' pop philosophy states that pop doesn't have to be cool, it can be political, and it should be expansive. But isn't there something missing from the equation?
An issue I've had is it possible to be a pop star without selling sex? And ultimately, I think to have mass selling pop music, it is not possible to do it without selling sex. That's why I think we're not as successful as I think our music could be, because we're not selling sex.
So sexuality doesn't matter in your brand of pop?
It could matter. It's just I don't think we have the bodies.
That's very honest of you.
Well, I think it's the case.
No, you're good-looking boys, and you chose not to sell sex. Why?
I don't think we felt. I think, like a lot of people, we didn't feel comfortable doing that. I'm not Rod Stewart, for instance, probably still selling. Mick Jagger, 63, still selling sex. Paul McCartney, not selling sex.
Do you think people unfairly expect gay people to sell sex or to be sexual?
No, because I think we stereotype heterosexuals as being highly sexual people, like John Prescott.
Well, we did say they were political, didn't we? OK, time for a closing quickfire round. Tate Modern or British Museum?
Tate Modern. So I'm too quick.
I'm
not doing all of them, no.
Audio cassettes, chuck them or keep them?
Keep them, they last longer.
No, they take it now, they're horrible, cheap plastic things.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
No, no Sunday.
Pet Shop Boys, arty or tarty?
Arty.
Arty. That it?
Oh, thank you.
I like the
Very
last
good.
section.
Yes. People always think, by the way, that smash hit style questions are really easy to do. I think they're really difficult.
That was hard. I sweated.
That is the difficult bit. That's right, writing a pop song as opposed to some extended rock rubbish.
Zena Sarawiwa talking to the Pet Shop Boys.